When I think about developmental milestones, I think about the things pediatricians are checking off the list, right? Is your child rolling? Are they walking? But I also think more broadly. And as a pediatric psychologist, my focus is more on what are they doing socially? So 2 months is around where I really want to see that social interaction start. Is your baby smiling back at you, right? They might not do it every time, but are they starting to at least? We also see babies start to be a little bit more stable physically around 2 months. So things like lifting head up a little bit on their own. 4 months, most babies can kind of push up on their arms. They're moving around a little bit. 4 months is when we hear more of that like cooing behavior back and forth. I hate to break this to parents, but sleep is not a developmental milestone. That's when they start asking lots of questions about, is there something wrong with my baby if they're not sleeping through the night? No. As we move to that 6-month place, babies are starting to do things like sit-up assisted. They're definitely reaching and touching things. They're lighting up when you say their name. They're cooing at you. They're laughing. And so at 6 months, I really want to see a social interaction. If we get to 6 months and families are concerned, I really want them to bring that up. At the 9-month visit, we often, will hear that babies are starting to crawl or crawling. We want them doing some movement. Not all babies crawl by 9 months, right? But that's sort of one of the big markers that pediatricians will ask. Are they moving on their own? Are they army crawling? At 9 months, we hear a lot of sounds. They're not necessarily words, but we're hearing sounds. Parents tend to get really good at that serve and return because you say something like, do you see this ball? And the baby's like, I see it. And it's very exciting. As we get to the 1-year-old mark, parents often have a general idea because I think what we hear, publicly really is 1-year-olds should walk and talk, right? Sort of. 1-year-olds should have a word or two. We are not really worried if they have less than that, as long as they're making sounds. So consonant sounds, mama, baba, dada, those kinds of sounds. A lot of 1-year-olds start to either cruise or walk at that age. They also become interested in, other kids, and I'm not expecting them to go have a game together, but they're like, oh, what's that kid over there doing? So you'll start to see that emerge. At the 18-month mark, we often see even more social interest. So now kids really want to know what other people are doing. This is also, home of the terrible twos, as parents call it, is actually not at 2. It's often at 1.5 years. And I often say at this age, this is a really great time to reframe your thinking around development. So if your reaction to the kid putting their hand in the socket or touching things is, oh, they're misbehaving, I encourage parents to shift that to, they're really curious and they're trying to figure out where their place in this world is. This first 2 years is sort of where we're seeing the development into them becoming these little people. When we hit the 3-year-old visit, we're thinking more about, are they running and jumping and playing okay? Do they look at people when they talk to them, right? We're also starting to ask about, fine motor skills. So not that we expect a 3-year-old to write a sentence, but can they pick up a crayon and hold it and draw? 3 is the age where kids are really sort of trying to figure out where their place is in this world. So do I have to listen to you? What's gonna happen if I don't? And so talking to parents about this is completely normal, but here's how you address it in talking some of those things. And the reason I care so much about the social piece is because there are ways we can help parents promote the social interactions and the social development, because we know that early intervention for social and emotional things is just as important as early intervention for physical health.